Well, hello, this is Rochelle, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, do so, and you'll see more videos like these. Today, I'm going to be continuing in my little, I think they call it a psalter, if a book is just on Psalms, I'm guessing. I'm continuing in this book, which I got from the Good Neighbors bookstore. And it is just awesome to work in. It's got a bit of a not as silky smooth pages as the journaling Bibles that I know. So it does have a bit more grit to it, the paper itself. And I'm using DecoArt Americana paints today, acrylic paints today. And I'm going to be just making a background for this page. Again, I wish that there was help like this when I started out, because I felt very overwhelmed in the sense that I thought I'm not artistic enough. I don't have drawing skills. What if I don't have something for every page? And just a bunch of things like that. And I had a really good teacher who taught me that you don't have to have all the stuff. You don't have to buy everything and have everything. Just use what you have. And even if you're just making a background and highlighting a verse, that is still Bible journaling, and it's still good enough. So working in Psalms 2 today, and I'm literally just laying or masking off a little kind of plaid area using different colors on my page here. So in the end, when I pull off all the washi tape, it's going to reveal a pattern, which is what I wanted in the background. And I wanted like grays and pinks. So this suede color I quite liked in the background here. You do go through a lot of washi tape when you do this. So be prepared to use some washi tape that you don't have any sentimental value to, if I can put it like that. So I'm using some variances in width of washi tape just to get some different textures or different sized shapes into my background pattern. Goodness gracious, I'm battling with my words today. But yeah, so Psalms 2 speaks of people looking at the work of God and not necessarily seeing what he does. And then he says to his servant, ask of me, and I will give you the nations as a heritage. And that really spoke to me, because a lot of the times we are doing things that we don't understand why, and we don't see the purpose of it, and we don't see the value of it. But in the end, God knows, and he is more than willing to assist you. You need only ask. And so this process is taking a lot of time. And that is exactly what I wanted, in the sense that I could spend time meditating on this word. See, I have a hard time asking of God, because I think that what I want is trivial or small. But God assures us every single time that he is willing to give us whatever we ask for when our heart desires his will. That which we ask, or that which our heart asks, then is according to his will anyways. So that really moved me today, just thinking about the things that are coming, and knowing that if God's will is in my heart, then my heart's desires will be in line with his will. And I can ask him for those things. I can ask him for his hand upon the things that he's given me to do. I can ask him for wisdom and clarity and peace and breakthrough in these areas, because he has given me those areas to conquer. And so that was just really powerful to me, and I hope it means something to you too. That is Psalm 2 verse 8. Ask of me, and I will give you the nations as a heritage. I remember having a dream when I was much younger, and God showing me something that seemed completely out of my grasp or even want or desire. It was completely way out of my comfort zone. And here I am today on a public forum, able to share the word of God. And I would have never ever thought that that was in in any sphere of me being able to do it. I didn't think that that was possible, but God said that it is, and He gave me that dream, and it was confirmed a few times. And like I said, today the story is much different than it was a few years ago. I'm going to mix some colors here just to give another a version of these tones that I'm using. So it's the suede color with the pink heather color, so it just mixes into this soft gray, and I love it. So it'll have those white lines then where I masked it off with the thin washi tape, and then that is my background pattern. So to give you some insight into my thoughts here, I wanted the background pattern, and then I wanted a frame around the words that I wanted to do. So you'll see once I pull off all the washi, I'm going to ink up my stamp, first fit it. It's a little frame stamp that I had, and then fitting it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it off onto a pink piece of cardstock. I obviously, if I'm going to write on this background pattern, it's going to kind of melt into the background, and it's not going to stand out as much as I want it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out with my blade that inside frame, or the inner part of that frame, so that I can write on that clear or that blank piece of cardstock, so that my words will pop out and look like it's been framed onto this background. So I've now stamped it off onto the pink piece, and then I am stamping it onto the background using Versa Fine. This is the Versa Clear ink, and it is a very good ink for fine detail, and this stamp frame has a lot of fine detail, so I quite liked the crispness of that stamp or that ink onto that stamp. And then I'm using my blade just to cut out the inner piece of this frame. I could have just done it with a scissor, which in the end would have been easier, I think, since I'm not going to be using that outline anyways. So yeah, I could have just done it with a scissor. I kind of went about it the long way. And then I'm using a pencil to just write out the verse that I wanted, so that I could fit the different fonts and everything in, and make sure that all my words fit, and if they don't, that I could change the sizes, etc., so that it does. And then I'm just using some variants of Pitt Artist pens, black Pitt Artist pens. One is in a 1.5, the other is in a fine nib, and then an S nib, which is the super fine nib, and then just writing it in these various fonts and styles, so that it could just look pretty and creative. Challenge yourself with the way that would be Grace scratching, with the way that you write, so that it's different and includes some variants, so that you don't have the same writing all the time. Try new things. I always say that whenever I'm working, is to try new things. Now, I did want to make sure that this is good and dry before I erased on this cardstock. This cardstock does have a bit of a shimmer to it, which means that it's also got a bit of a slick surface. So I didn't want to erase all of the, or smudge and smear all of the writing with the black pen. So just make sure that it's good and dry. If you need to hit it with a heat tool, do so. I should have hit the ink on top of this acrylic background with a heat tool before I stuck it down, because I did end up smudging some of that ink onto my little pink cardstock. But there you have it, all done and dusted. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.